Hi guys, Stu here from Mobile Geeks, and today we're going to give you a quick comparison of two of the most iconic devices of 2014. Here in my right hand, I have the OnePlus One. Ooh, look at it. This is one of my favorites of this year, and it is, of course, the $300 flagship killer. Now here on my left, we have maybe the flagship of all flagships, maybe the most important phone to be launched in 2014 in general. This is the iPhone 6 Plus, which is coming at you for a very, very much higher price of $800 or more. So let's just start with that caveat. Let's just start with $800, $300. Okay. Now the first thing you'll notice is that they're both, actually just look at these screens, they're both the same size screen, they're both 5.5 inch screens, and they're both 1080p screens. Okay, the Apple here has a Retina display, and what we have here from OnePlus is actually an LTPS LCD. This is a kind of new LCD screen made by JDI, or Japan Display Inc. in Japan, which is a consortium of several big companies, and then they're making very nice screens also. So let's give OnePlus One credit where credit's due, but at the same time, Apple probably rules the roost with their Retina display. But one thing that's interesting to note is that if I just put them down side by side, you may notice that actually the iPhone is a little bit longer. In terms of device size, the iPhone comes in at 158 millimeters, whereas over here in the OnePlus One, we have 152. So there you go. I think OnePlus One have really done a good job of managing to fit a lot of screen on this device and keep the bezels at a reasonable size. The bezels on the iPhone are certainly significantly bigger. Now you might prefer that when you're playing games or whatever, and you can hold it like this, I guess. But generally speaking, I think the Apple is actually a little bit big for what it is. I've seen 6-inch devices that are around the same size, and this is only 5.5. But anyway, you're getting a fantastic screen. We've got the brightness turned up full here, and it is very, very impressive, has to be said. Now, in terms of processor, over here in the OnePlus One, we have, well, for most of this year, what we consider to be the top dog of processors. This is the Snapdragon 801, which is clocked here, in this case, at 2.5 gigahertz, and it comes with 3 gigabytes of memory. We love that. Give me my 3 gigabytes. Over here in Apple, we have, of course, a proprietary in-house developed Apple A8, which is a dual-core chip clocked at 1.4 gigahertz. Now, we haven't benchmarked it yet to check also how the Power VR graphics chip performs, but we're expecting good things. I mean, this is a particular case where benchmarks can probably be thrown out of the window because Apple are so good at optimizing the hardware and the software to make it just the slickest experience you're ever going to get, like ever. Okay, so maybe performance-wise, I think these two are two beasts. But I will reiterate the fact that you got 3 gigabytes here, and only, this is the shocker, 1 gigabyte on the iPhone 6 Plus. That kind of surprises me. Why not just give people 2? I don't know. That's kind of odd, I guess. All right, so we've looked at the processor displays. Let's look now at the overall design of these two guys. Now, the iPhone, I mean, come on, this is like a unibody aluminum chassis, and it looks fantastic. It doesn't take any fingerprints whatsoever. Oh, maybe just here a little bit. But, come on, it's thin as well. 7.1. This is great. This is 8.9. So, yeah, we're talking significant. But then again, this is in the center because, of course, we have a curved design here. So it's maybe a little bit unfair because it's actually much thinner around the edges. But the Apple device is significantly thinner, that's for sure. One thing about the finish, I mean, if you compare the finish, this is a very smooth finish. And it feels fantastic. But we are also huge fans of the finish here in the OnePlus One, which is, how do I say, it kind of feels like felt or a material, and you can mark it, but then, oh, that's very quickly gone. So it's almost kind of unscratchable, and it certainly does not attract any fingerprints at all. And the other cool thing is that you can actually get the cover off here and switch the cover. You can change that. OnePlus will offer you covers that look like wood or even made of wood, or certainly different colors and different finishes, so you can also have fun with that. Whereas over here on the iPhone 6 Plus, you cannot take this apart and you cannot get to the battery. By the way, this is not a removable battery, but you can have it replaced. It's not for the, you might not want to do so as an end user yourself, but you can get in there and you can get it out. Whereas here, 1 or 2 years down the line, if your battery starts to suck, you are stuck with it. There's nothing you can do to get that out as far as I know. Okay, in terms of storage, these guys both come with 16 and 64 gigabyte offerings, but we're focused today on a 16 gigabyte. So in terms of price reference and everything else, these are 16 gigabyte devices, which I think is sufficient. Although both of them suffer from the same issue, that they do not support SD cards. That's kind of annoying, especially with the OnePlus, because you can get into the back, so why not offer SD card support? Apple, of course, no chance. Right, on the back here, you're getting an 8 megapixel camera, and on the front you're getting a 1.2. Now, Apple's camera technology has always been, should we say, best in its field, best in class, let's say, put it that way. But over here, the OnePlus One is not so bad either. It's got a 13 megapixel shooter on the rear and a 5 megapixel on the front, which is pretty impressive. I've got a feeling, though, that the Apple's going to wipe the floor with the OnePlus when it comes to cameras. We're going to do a full camera review of the iPhone 6 Plus and the iPhone 6, so comparing it to Sony and Samsung, so look out for that. We'll get you more details on just how that performs. Let's also focus on battery. In terms of battery, you're getting a 3,100 milliamp hour here, and from excuse me, from Apple, you're getting a 2,915 milliamp hour job inside here. Both phones are offering very, very good battery life. In fact, you're going to get 2 to 3 days from either of these guys, no problem whatsoever. So there you have it. There you have the $300 OnePlus One compared to the $800+ iPhone 6 Plus. We're not going to go into software in any depth today because that would just take too long, and it's kind of beyond the scope of this video anyway, let's be honest. But yeah, Android in cyanogen form versus iOS, yeah, I mean, that's a whole story in itself. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a quick comparison of the OnePlus One and the Apple iPhone 6 Plus. If you have any thoughts on this comparison, please let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoy this kind of stuff, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, cheers. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.